Hi. Today's video is actually a part 2 to a video that I released yesterday talking about the worst conversions in Phantom Forces. So definitely before you watch this video, consider checking out part 1. Though if you'd rather watch that after this, you could do so with the card that'll be at the end of the video. Otherwise, you can find the link to yesterday's video in the pinned comment below or in the description. Anyways, enjoy the video. Moving on to the snipers now, something that I think a lot of you guys might find useless or otherwise not as good as the default BFG is probably going to be something along the lines of 17 Incinerator. Now, if you don't know what 17 Incinerator is, it's basically a conversion that gives you half your damage, even less than half, but is always a guaranteed one-tap headshot and doubles your muzzle velocity. But surprisingly, I'm not going to be talking about that conversion. I'm going to be talking about 416 Barrett. 416 Barrett is like, like the Chinese knockoff, the Temu, if you will, the Temu version of the BFG ammo. So what exactly is wrong with 416 Barrett? If it's the Temu version, shouldn't it still be technically functional? Well, yes, technically it is functional. Technically, it's not all that different from the stock BFG ammo. So why exactly do I think this is a bad or otherwise useless conversion in this game? So obviously, if you know the BFG 50, default 100 damage, minimum of 95, crazy torso and head multis, giving you always a one-shot kill, as long as you don't hit limb at maximum range. So 416 Barrett just kind of doesn't do that. 416 Barrett not only lowers your one-shot damage, so you can no longer get a one-shot if you hit like limb point blank, but you also have lowered range damage. You can still one-tap torso, you could still always one-tap head, so like, what's the issue here with this ammo type? Well, it's that it requires 1,750 kills to be able to unlock, and you get nothing other than a very tiny increase to muzzle velocity. So otherwise, it's just use the default ammo. What's the point? Surprisingly, something that has a bit more of a point, though I would say is potentially even more useless, is going to be 410 on the mosen. So the mosen, famous for being, you know, a mosen, is a pretty cool weapon. It's all right in this game. Used to be like one of the best snipers ever. Still is a lot of fun for a lot of people in this game. But 410 is something that since it was added especially whenever I did a video back in the day, I just didn't really understand why they added this. And they've never really seemed to clarify a particular use case for this. And I've yet to find one. So TLDR, 410 bore is a shotgun conversion for the mosen, which otherwise has okay stats for a shotgun mosen. But it's just like, why? Why would you want a bolt action shotgun? I wanted to shoot so you could see how bad the spread is on this, but, you know, God forbid. It really is just one of those things of like, what's the point? Just use like any other shotgun. Like, I mean, except for maybe this with pennies, obviously. It's not even that it's like bad or anything. It's just why? It is fun. It is. It can be kind of fun. What I kind of wonder is this a real thing? The FT300 in general, I've always seen as the Temu BFG, the Wish.com BFG, the knockoff BFG, and that's pretty much what it kind of always will be to me. It's got the same functionality of you have to like reload after each shot and you get some one-tap potential with it, much like the BFG, but it will never quite live up to the BFG. And while the weapon itself is okay, there are some fun conversions for it. One that, much like 416 Barrett on the BFG, I don't understand being in this game is going to be the 308 Winchester, which is not worth my credits, and I don't even have enough to buy it anyway. 308 Winchester changes almost nothing. You get a tiny bit better close-up damage, you get a tiny bit better damage range, you get a tiny bit lower range damage, you get a tiny bit less torso multi, you get a tiny bit less ammo capacity, you get same fire rate, you get a tiny bit less muzzle velocity, you get a tiny bit more suppression. You pretty much are changing nothing about it, and it costs you 3,000 kills or otherwise several thousand credits. So again, what's the point? There's basically none. Honestly, I feel like it should just be a stock conversion that you could just get for free with the weapon because it changes so little about it. You give a little, you take a little, and a few different spots on the weapon. And sure, you can use it, but why would you? Speaking of why, there's been a lot of whys today, and one of them is going to be kind of to no surprise to a lot of people, and that is the 14.5 on the NTW20. Now, to me and to everybody else who plays Phantom Forces and has ever used the NTW20, the point of this weapon, much like it is in real life, it is an anti-material rifle. So this is designed to basically punch through holes in concrete, punch through light armored vehicles, all that kind of stuff. And much like an anti-material rifle should in a video game, this does a butt butt ton of damage. Well, anyway, butt ton of damage. You get one tap at all range with torso. You do get 99 damage out of the 250 studs, but we can argue and say that this is basically always a guaranteed one shot with its multipliers, with its damage and damage range. That's basically what it is. So 14.5 requiring 4,000 kills is everything that the NTW20 is not, or rather everything that this weapon should not be. It's fast, it's speedy, insanely fast reload time, faster fire rates, but it can't one-shot. It can't one-shot. Technically, we get 100 damage, right? And with its multi, we can kind of get a little bit of one-shot range. But out past 200 studs, it no longer one-shots. It no longer one-shots torso. It no longer one-shots to the limb. It's always a one-shot headshot. I don't get why they have a conversion like this. Like, sure, I'm sure I could still knock out a fair few kills. I mean, 200 studs is a fairly far distance to still be able to one-tap torso and everything. But like, when I'm using an anti-material rifle and I'm hitting 94 damage on somebody, it's just why? Like, just use a different sniper that does either more damage, or if you want a faster sniper, use a faster sniper. This is not the in-between that we want, especially not for 4,000 kills. Of course, you could still use it if that's really what you want to do, but I'm going to say that most people probably don't want to use this version of the weapon, and I think that's probably for the best. My god, I just missed 3 shots in a row with this. I am going to switch to my next weapon now. And lastly for the list, we're going to talk about the Colt MARS. Not that this weapon in particular is bad, but in fact, the 9x30 conversion for it, yeah, I speak English well. This conversion actually turns out to be pretty useless. Now, on the surface, it's not a bad conversion, as we'll see in just a second here. It actually gives you something that the weapon doesn't normally have, and that is CQC 3-shot ability, but unfortunately, it's not nearly as good as one of the other, more like default conversions. Now, what exactly do I mean by that? So that is going to be that if we take a look at the 9x30 here, we get 35 damage out to 35 studs, minimum of 18 damage, so quite a decrease over the base ammo, and we get a decrease of all things in ammo capacity from 30 down to 28. Otherwise, things like the muzzle velocity is decreased here, penetration's increased a little bit, and we get a minimum time to kill twice as fast as the base ammo. Not to mention, of course, the 2-tap headshot out to 42, 43 studs. So what exactly is bad here? Well, it is the fact that the hollow point ammo conversion, while double the kill requirement, is substantially better. So first of all, we get higher damage overall. Even with the technical negative torso multiplier, we still get a guaranteed 3-shot. We get a farther distance to 1-tap headshot out to about 65 studs. We don't have a compromised magazine capacity, still default 30, and we don't get muzzle velocity compromises either, and we get the exact same time to kill as we do with the 9x30 at 0.07 seconds. So it's not necessarily like 9x30 doesn't have a point. It does have a point. It is fun. It is okay. It's just that it's made irrelevant by the fact that hollow point exists and is objectively the better, if not the best way to use this weapon. I think, honestly, that pretty much sums it up for today. We have got a lot of conversions in this game. A lot of them are bad. A lot of them are pretty good. Some of them are objectively just better ways to use already existing weapons. And for that, I think that that is a fantastic thing. And it creates a lot of levels of customization that we otherwise don't get in a lot of other FPS games. Though, with a lot of good things, you're also going to have a lot of bad things too. So here's today's video. Let me know your opinions in the comment section below. I greatly appreciate that. If you have any other video ideas yourself, please do let me know in the comments below as well. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, do subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. With notifications on, we're trying to hit 200k by the end of the year. I'd absolutely love if we're able to do that. And of course, you can become a channel member like the lovely people up on screen right now. If you can't do that, at the very least, definitely make sure you check out the Phantom Forces playlist with over 500 Phantom Forces videos in it too. That's up on screen right now. And I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Love you. Peace.